Hey crew, it's Pitt, and I'm back with today's Timeless Tarot for August the 20th of 2025. But this is a Timeless Tarot, so whenever it finds you is exactly when you were meant to find it. We will be pulling a card from the Divine Feminine, a card from the Divine Masculine, in accordance with the 8 human chakras, so that we can get a better understanding of how to best manifest our highest timeline in accordance with Spirit. I have already done a pre-shuffle in order to get the cards right, but I like to do a couple more just to make sure they're exactly where your Spirit would have them to be. With that being done, we are now going to begin pulling with the base. And in the base, we have the 9 of Cups. In the sacral, we have the Moon. In the solar plexus, we have the Fool in reverse. In the heart, we have the Hanged Man. In the throat, we have the 3 of Wands in reverse. In the third eye, we have Justice in reverse, and that is the King. When in the crown, we have the King of Wands in reverse. And then rounding out our message from the Divine Feminine, on the bottom of the deck, we have the Page of Wands. A lot of Wands energy. Next, we'll be pulling 8 cards from the Divine Masculine. The Divine Feminine, the cards that are already on the table, let us know what the current situation and energies are, and the Divine Masculine lets us know what steps and actions that we can take in order to help manifest our highest timeline in accordance with Spirit. And now that that is done, we will begin pulling with the Crown. And in the Crown, we have the 4 of Cups in reverse. In the third eye, we have the 5 of Wands in reverse. In the throat, we have the Sun in reverse. In the heart, we have the Page of Pentacles in reverse. In the solar plexus, we have the Wheel of Fortune in reverse. In the sacral, we have the Hierophant. In the base, we have Judgment in reverse. And then, rounding out our message from the Divine Masculine on the bottom of the deck, we have the World. All right, let's dive in and see what Spirit is telling us today. We begin in the base because that is base existence. Do you have a home? Do you have a job? Do you have food? Do you have money? Provision. It is also the area that deals with love and wrath. So giving away too much affection, not receiving the affection you feel like you deserve. Neither one is intrinsically good. You've got the 9 of Cups. Now, the 9 of Cups is going to signify that you are being faced with a choice. It is a 9. It is an emotional choice. It is Cups. Cups are body spirit. It is about feelings. It is familial connections, spousal connections, co-worker connections, and your friends, but it is not the people. It is the emotions attached to those people. This guy is sitting in front of the things that he has harvested. 7 is the harvest. He has been presented with the opportunity to make a new investment. That is the 8. And this is the 9, and the 9 is, hey, make a choice. There is a choice about what to do with this emotional return that you have received. It is time to make a decision about that. Now, you get to make the decision either to reinvest them or not. That is your decision. But you are being faced with that decision. This is you in your current situation, the Divine Feminine, telling you that you are being faced with an emotional decision. Some people look at this as a smugness card. I do not necessarily, but he has an expression that can be taken as smugness. He has his returns, and that can indicate that he might be smug about those returns. But this is the higher path, and that's not really the energy of the higher path. And so this is an emotional choice that you are facing in your current situation. Now, clarifying with actions that can be taken, we've got the Judgment card in reverse. The Judgment card, when it is standing tall, is about making the appropriate choice, right? Judgment, this is a good judgment. These people are being called from the grave by this angel who is blowing the trumpet. None of them are on fire. They all seem relatively happy. There are more people in the back that's a little bit harder to make out, but everybody is celebrating. Everybody is coming up. This is good judgment. Now, this is the 20, which is about giving the appropriate energy in the appropriate way. This is the nurturing energy, the Divine Feminine even. And so this can indicate that there is a need for you to nurture things when it is presented upright. It can represent that maybe you are nurturing a little bit too much when it is presented in the reverse. You have this in the reverse, which can indicate that maybe you are reserving your judgment a little bit too much. This is the highest path, the path of the cups, and this is the clarifier for the Queen of Cups. And so this can indicate a little bit of reluctance to make this decision with these two here together. This is you making a judgment actively. When it is upright, that is you making the correct judgment. When it is backwards, it's a little bit less of that energy. So it's not advising you to make the wrong judgment, right? It is saying that maybe your understanding of what is right and wrong is not the correct understanding of what is right and wrong in the particular situation, right? You may have a little bit of confusion about that. You're faced with a choice. You have to make a judgment about it. It is emotional. Both of these cards are tied to the emotions. Next, we're going to go to the sacral. The sacral is the area of physical generation. It can be children. It is tied to lust and chastity, the giving away of physical affection, not receiving the physical affection. Neither one are intrinsically good. These two cards here, man. First off, you got the moon. The moon has come out of your comfort zone. Now, this is not just sexual energy. This is interpersonal relationships and business, right? If you have a business that you want to create, you envision it with your third eye, you energetically invest from your heart into the divine, and you take positive steps in the right direction with your sacral. These are generative side, right? This is choosing the direction of where you are going. And so this is change, right? This is coming out of the comfort zone. Now this is, what does that? That is an 18, and an 18 is going to be understanding. And so there is some understanding. This is going to be in the path of the cups, right? This is going to be the clarifier for the page of cups, which I believe you got out here somewhere. Maybe not. Maybe it's a different page. Yeah, okay. Regardless, this is a card of change, right? Now, this is about understanding something, and the understanding is you coming out of your comfort zone. What we have here is the sun and the moon, both. That can be an eclipse card. We do have an eclipse coming. You have the two towers. They represent the light and the dark, Boaz and Yakin, for the Masons out there. There is a path that runs between them, and on either side of the path, you have a wolf and a dog, the domestic side of man, the wild side of man. And this path runs directly between these two pillars and these two dogs, balance in your life. Right? And now on this path, all the way at the bottom, there's a little crawfish coming out of the water. He is fully armored. He is able to take care of himself, but he is coming out of his comfort zone. Right? The comfort zone is the water. He is coming out on the earth. This is a card of you coming out of your comfort zone, right? This is what you are trying to create in your life. This is the things that you want to generate is the coming out of the comfort zone. Now, that is clarified by the Hierophant, which is a 5, and 5s are about a challenge. And so, in order to come out of the comfort zone, which is the current situation, what you need to do is rise to meet a challenge. Now, this challenge in particular is dealing with authority. It is dealing with control systems. And if you are unaware, for me, the control systems are religions and governments and all of the clubs that restrict what you do, right? And so this is direct opposition to that, or supplication to that, depending. What we have is this guy is seated on the throne of authority between the two pillars, just like we see over here in the moon card. And he has these two people at his feet, and he's got the key of knowledge right here. We miss that sometimes. Some people consider this to be a marriage card. I do not, but it is in the interpersonal relationships, so if you do, that might indicate that. But these two priests did not come to the Pope in order to get married. They came to get a blessing. They came to get an assignment, to rise to meet the challenge even. And so this can indicate maybe there's some more knowledge. There's a key coming. That is the active side of things, and the key can unlock the change. This is you rising to meet the challenge of an authority, of a control system. It can be religious. It can be governmental. It can be, you might have court to go to, and that's going to lead to some change. But this is you coming out of your comfort zone. This is what you want to do. This is you challenging a control system, whether that be religious or governmental. That is not to foment rebellion, right? You do not be stupid. But you do have the right to peacefully protest if that is your choice, right? This is that protest, right? This is the appeal to authority. Now, this can be either a positive appeal or a negative appeal. It depends on your situation, but you want change outside of your comfort zone, and it has to deal with an authority figure or a control system. Now we go to the solar plexus. Now, this side, the left-hand path, is directional. That is where you set the direction of your intentions. The right-hand side is where you feed that. That is where you give the fuel to those intentions. You are either speaking aloud your intentions with your throat, or you are consuming things that will allow you to do the things you want to do. Both of those this is the amplification side. And so this is what feeds everything else. You consume the food with your throat, but it goes to the stomach and becomes fuel. This is the area that deals with gluttony and temperance. It is quite literally tied to your stomach. And so it is the overconsumption of the mortal coil. It is the underconsumption of the mortal coil. Neither one is intrinsically good. You've got the fool in reverse. Now, the fool when it is standing tall is about engaging. This is a coming out of the comfort zone just as much as the moon is, in a different way. This is the 0 card, right? If you look, there is a 0 on the top. This is the key to the entire tarot. This is the guy that is on all of these paths that we talk about. He is attached to 1 through 7. He is attached to 8 through 14. He is attached to 15 through 21. This is the guy that is actually treading the path of the world. This is you, right? This is me, but this is you. This is you in you. And so this is embracing the journey, right? He has got his provisions on his wand of change. He has got a flower in his hand. He has got the sun of providence at his back. He's got a dog at his feet to assist him, to keep him from walking off the edge. But he's not walking off the edge. He's walking up to the edge. He is pushing the boundaries. He is getting to the outer limits. You've got this in the negative, which can indicate that maybe you have a little bit too much enthusiasm for the new, possibly. Maybe you are not settling down in the right way, possibly. This guy is going out to meet his destiny, right? This guy is letting destiny come to him. You have it in the reverse, so you get the negative flexion for it. So if this is go out, conquer the world, this is not, right? That is not to say that you should not be exploring or anything like that, but sometimes you let the challenge come to you. This is you exploring the world in a negative way, and that's not negative like bad, but negative like it's coming to you, then positive and negative flexions, right? Positive, you go out, negative, it comes to you. And so this is you embracing the change by letting it come to you, right? If it was anything else other than embracing the change, the new path, it would not be the fool. It would not be the 0. And in order to clarify that, you've got the Wheel of Fortune. Now you have it in reverse, which can indicate some slower energy, but the Wheel of Fortune is change, right? If this guy is embracing the change by allowing it to come to him, this is the change coming to you, right? Now, when it is positive, when it is standing upright, this is sudden change coming into your life that you have a small measure of control over. The Tower, you don't have any control. But this one you do. You're either picking one of these slots to bet upon, or you are spinning the wheel for the arrow to land upon. You are taking an active part in the Wheel of Fortune. Now you got it in the negative. This, when it is standing tall, is sudden change coming in imminently. You have a little bit of control. This is slower change coming in, still kind of imminently. This is also a 10 card, which is about learning. And so if you are embracing the path, there is learning to be done about it. That learning is intrinsic to change, and you have a little bit less control of it, or it is a slower moving change. But it is still change. It is still the Wheel of Fortune. You still have a small measure of control, just less. But this is you embracing this path, and this is the path coming to you. And so both of these cards, it is so wow, right? You got the Moon and the Hierophant. That is 2 major arcana. You got the Fool and the Wheel of Fortune. two major arcana, right? This is your provisionary path. And you've got the Judgment. And you've got the World. And you've got the Hanged Man. And you've got the Sun. There's a lot going on here today. Next, we move to the heart, and the heart is what is, it's you, right? It is the heart of you. It is what ties together the as above and the as below. The as below is associated with greed, right? Clinging to things a little bit too much. The as above is associated with charity, giving away things a little bit too much, and neither one is intrinsically good. You, in your core being, what you want to be, your area of manifestation, the things that you are truly investing your energy into, is a new perspective. Right? That might be coming out of your comfort zone, don't you think? That might be making a choice. That might be embracing a path, finding the new perspective. This guy has hung himself upon this pole. This is not a punishment inflicted upon him, and he did so to achieve this enlightenment that he has received. This is intentionally setting out to find a new perspective. And this is you in the current situation. Right? Now, this is a 12, and so a 12 is going to be about rising to meet a challenge. Much like the 5 on a higher level. This is the challenge of a thought or an idea, possibly because it is attached to the second path. Right? This is going to be the clarifier for the Knight of Swords. And so this is thought, intellect, possibly, not necessarily, but it is definitely you rising to meet a challenge by getting a new perspective. And that is what you want to do. This is your core. This is what you want in your life. You envision here, you take steps here, you energetically invest here. This is what you want in your life. And it is a new perspective. Change. Now that is signified, clarified even, by the Page of Pentacles in reverse. Now the Page of Pentacles is about understanding. 11's pages are understandings. This is the understanding of the provisionary path, because pentacles are provision, right? This is only the second non-major arcana card. So pentacles are the same as the base. Do you have a home? Do you have a job? Do you have food? Do you have money? Provision. And so this is him standing still. He is not moving forward, contemplating all of the possibilities in the world to get a better understanding of how to rise to meet the challenge, which is the next step, right? The page becomes the knight to rise to meet the challenge. You have the challenge right here of a different perspective, and you have an understanding right now. When it is like this is you coming to an understanding about the provisionary path. This can indicate that you already have the understanding or that you are not understanding, right? Either one of those are a possibility. It can't be a whole lot more definite than that. But if you need a new perspective, then you probably do not have the understanding. Now, this is being what you can do, right? You're getting a new perception currently in your divine feminine, the things that are going on now. This is less of an understanding all going forward, right? Maybe your understanding is wrong. Maybe there is something about it that needs to be revealed to you, right? But this is a challenge of a perspective, and this is a guy understanding the provisionary path in a negative flexion, so it's a little bit less of that energy. Next, we go to the area of communication. This is the throat is dealing with pride and humility, so giving away too much credit, not taking enough credit. Neither one are intrinsically good. What you have is the Three of Wands. Now, threes are about learning, right? Always going to be about learning. It's the same as the 10 on a lesser level. And so there is a lesson here to be learned. You are in the middle of learning the lesson. There is a choice that you have to make. This is a communication, right? In the communication spot. This is Wands, and Wands are spirit and fire. They are life, light, logos, and change, and they are intuition. And so this can signify learning about change, 3 and Wands. Now you have this in the reverse. When this is standing tall, right, the 3s to me represent you are either working with someone to learn something or you are not working with someone to learn something. We see with the Three of Cups, it is three women standing in a circle holding up their cups, and that is a spirit of cooperation. This is a spirit of non-cooperation, a spirit of isolation. He is standing on this cliff, gazing out over the waters because he has made a choice about what to do, right? He was presented with a choice with the two. He makes the choice, and then he learns about it with the three. He made the choice to send his ships out, and now he is waiting for them to return, but he's by himself. And so when this presents upright, this is learning about a change by yourself. This is in the reverse, which is learning about a change. That's why we got this card. But it's in the reverse because it is probably going to involve you with other people, right? Instead of the spirit of non-cooperation, which this would be, this is going to be a spirit of cooperation while learning about the change. Now, clarifying that, this one's going to be a little hard, right? This is the sun. The sun is all of the good things. It is not quite as good as the world, but it is pretty close, right? This is the sun representing divine providence. These are sunflowers representing divine providence. This is the white horse of victory or assistance. Both are intrinsic to it. You have the babe riding naked on the horse, which indicates look beyond the normal, right? Now, this is the 19, I believe. Yeah. 19 is going to be, let's see, that's going to be change and challenge, right? This is going to be the equivalent to the Knight of Cups. And so that can be an emotional change or challenge in your life that you are to rise to meet. When it is standing upright, this indicates good things coming into your life. If you have this, for instance, in the feminine for the provisionary path, that means that you are imminently about to be receiving some really good things, right? All of the good things are indicated by this card. Now, you have this in the reverse. And so, if there is a challenge, you are to let it come to you, right? That is what the negative flexion on the challenges mean, right? You're rising to meet this challenge of the authority by going forward. You're rising to meet this challenge by letting it come to you. And so, this is the challenge coming to you, but it is a positive challenge, right? This is a very positive card. Even in the reverse, right? It doesn't have negative connotations in that way. It can possibly indicate darkness as opposed to the sun, but not even really, right? What it appears, right? You have this spirit of non-isolation around learning something from a change. You have a challenge that you have to embrace. This is a spirit of cooperation in a communication spot. And this step may be that you need to communicate with somebody that you possibly didn't consider communicating with before. Now, it is important to note that you have a 5, you have a 5, you have a 5, and so there is quite a bit of challenge being unfolded here, and so just bear that in mind. We're going to go ahead and move on to the third eye. This is what your hopes, dreams, and aspirations, the things that you want to manifest into your life. You envision them with your third eye. You energetically invest from your heart into the divine. You take positive steps with your sacral. This is the area that deals with sloth and diligence, so working hard towards your goals or just expecting them to materialize. They will not just materialize. Nothing comes from nothing. If you are not taking steps, nothing will happen. Now you have the Justice card. Much like the Judgment card, the Justice card is about proper justice when it is upright, right? This is him seated on his throne of authority. He has the sword of discernment, that is thought and intellect, right? Swords are thoughts, intellect, combat, and communications. This is not in the communication spot, so it's probably not that. This is an 11. An 11 is going to be an understanding like the page. And so you have this wander out, you have a new perspective, and then you have this page in reverse. This is kind of like that, right? This is an 11, so it's going to be the emotional path. It would be the page of cups that is being clarified. But this can indicate emotions. That's why I'm bringing that up. But when this is standing tall, this is about the right application of justice. This is not corruption. This is perfect. He has the scales of balance indicating that. He has the two pillars of light and dark indicating balance. And so overall, this is a balance card. This is an understanding about justice. Now, this is your current situation of what you want in your life. And so maybe what we see with this needing to get out of your comfort zone and possibly confront the governmental system is that maybe you are feeling that it is a little bit unjust, right? That the current system is not working with justice, right? That is what I'm getting from that, especially since you have the Five of Wands right here in reverse. Now, the Five of Wands, when it is standing upright, is rising to meet a challenge because it is a 5. It is a challenge around change, intuition, life, light, logos, any of those things, right? That is Wands. But this is a mutual combat card, right? This is not someone attacking you. This is not you attacking someone else. This is everybody mutually engaged in combat. They are all enjoying themselves. Nobody is in any real danger with this. We're all in a learning posture, but they're having fun, right? You got it in the reverse, which can indicate that maybe you feel like there is not the spirit of mutual combat. And if you are having a problem with a governmental control authority, and you feel like it is unjust, then that does not feel like mutual combat. That might even be a challenge presenting itself in your life around something that you need to change. And so this really does indicate, right, with these two right here, they're not the same card, but they kind of have the same energy, right? You have Justice and the Hierophant. They are in the same pose almost. They are sitting on the same throne. They have the two pillars around them. They both have one hand. Well, this one has two hands raised, but this one's holding a balance and this one's holding a staff. But this one is pointing as above and this one's holding the sword of discernment. There is definitely a correlation between these cards, even though they are not identical, since they are presented like this, right? This is you embracing change, coming out of the comfort zone. This is combat around change. This is a governmental system that you have problems with. This is indicating a problem with a governmental system. And so it does appear that there is something dealing with the control system that you need to deal with. That is not, again, that is not to say go and revolt, right? You should make yourself known. You should be clear and honest with your intentions. It should be aligned for the betterment of everyone. But there is something in the current situation that is not, and you are upset about that, and that is valid. Next, we're going to move to the crown, and that is where you interpret what the divine tells you. They give you a message. It comes through your crown. You feel responsible for it. This is the area of hope and despair. So if everything is going great and you are finding the lead lining, this is where you need to balance. And if everything is going terrible and you are finding the silver balance, or the silver lining, this might need a little balance as well. You have the King of Wands. Now, this is the current energy for what you are doing, what you feel like the divine is telling you. This is the King of Wands, is the mastery of the change, right? The king is always going to represent the divine masculine as a fully mature man with the appropriate use of the masculine traits, right? The queen represents the same thing for the divine feminine. And so this is perfect justice, right? This is not playing favorites. It's not being mean. It's not being aggressive. It's not being stingy. It is being all of the good qualities of a good man, right? When it is presented upright, this is the full mastery of the change. This and the world are kind of co-equals in a way, right? This is the fourth path, the path that is outside the other paths, with no arcanum clarifying them. And so this is kind of similar to the world. This is the mastery of the change. The world is kind of the same thing. Now you have this in the negative flexion, which indicates that it's probably not your life quite yet. You are at the finish. It is about change. You just don't have the mastery of it yet, Maybe you were told to make a choice about that. Maybe you were told to embrace some change, to get out of your comfort zones, right? That would definitely be indicated here. Like, this is a reiteration. Now, clarifying that with some steps that can be taken, you've got the meditation or the manifestation card. To me, this is the card of manifestation, right? This is your active, what you need to do. This is a 4, which is about understanding. 3s are about learning something. 4 is about understanding something. And then once you understand it, you can rise to meet the challenge of the 5. This is coming to an understanding about an emotional situation. It is cups. Cups are about emotions and feelings. But what is going on in this card? This man is sitting underneath the tree of wisdom. He is in a meditative state and he is focused upon these 3 empty cups. Now, some people look at that as regret. I don't, because he is not just staring mournfully at these cups like he does, and I think it's the 5, right? With the 3 in front that are empty, 3 empties. This is, he has stared at these and used these to create this. He has taken these raw materials and materialized this one. This is divine providence through manifestation. To me, this is the 4 of the heart, right? This is the tie together of all of the manifestation processes. And so the 4 is about manifesting into your life the appropriate things, right? There are rules. But this is emotional satisfaction, the understanding of the emotions. And you've got it kind of in the reverse. Well, not kind of in the reverse. You've got it in the reverse, which is less of the energy, right? So this is not necessarily telling you not to manifest, but it may be telling you that you are not manifesting correctly. This can indicate that you need to adjust some of the goals that you are setting, right? If you are manifesting specific things, maybe it is the wrong specific thing. If you are not manifesting specific things, maybe you need to manifest specific things as opposed to general, right? I normally manifest general things, right? I put the energy out there in the way that is going to return to me in the most beneficial way without focusing on specifics. But sometimes you need the specific. This is the negative flexion of the manifestation card. It is the negative flexion of the understanding card about emotions. So there are 2 possibilities, right? Either you are not currently manifesting and you need to, or you have the wrong target and you need the right one, or you do not have the understanding about the emotion that will lead to the mastery of change. That is even probably the most likely of them. It is the manifestation card, and so I have to put it out there. This is the divine, which is where you realize what you want to manifest, right? You set the direction here, but you come to the realization with the central trunk. Next, we're going to go to the divine, and the divine is a direct message to you from the divine. It is not colored by the virtues and the vices. The divine has the virtues and the vices in perfect balance already. And you have the need to rise to the understanding of the change, right? This is a page. Pages are about understanding. This is a wand. Wands are about the change. This can indicate intuition, but you have been told several times that there is change. This is currently from the divine. You are being told to understand the change, right? In order to reach the mastery, you have to have the understanding. You have to rise to meet the challenge. You have to take the appropriate break, and then you get to the harvest. This is telling you to reach the understanding. Now, clarifying that with some steps that can be taken is the completion of everything. This is the World card, which is quite literally the culmination of the deck. This is the beginning, the Fool. This is the end, the opposite end of the Arcanum. And so this is the 21, so it is the completion. It is the harvest of the emotional path. This is all of the good things, even more so than we have seen like with the sun, right? The sun and the moon, or the sun and the world are really the fulfillment of the things. Now, you have the world presenting upright, which means that you may be embracing the world. But if we take these 2 cards together, in accordance with everything else that we have seen on the table so far, right? What are we looking at? there is the need for you to understand some change that is going on in your life. You are being presented with an opportunity. You have a choice to make. That choice is very much tied intrinsically to change in your life. You are being called to understand the change so that you can rise to the mastery of it. Now, the steps that can be taken is to embrace the world, right? You have this spirit of cooperation, which is the non-cooperation card in the reverse because it is related to change, and you needed the card of change. This is a card of change. There is a lot of change unfolding, and you are being told in no uncertain terms to embrace that change and to come to the understanding and to embrace the world, right? This is actions that you can take. That is the world, which is bringing things to the final completion of the emotional understanding. That's going to bring us to the end of the read, and hopefully I brought a little bit of enlightenment and not too much confusion. If you like what I'm doing over here, let me know down below. Give me a like, a share, a follow, throw me a comment. Whether you agree or disagree with anything that was stated, put it in the box down below, and if it remains respectful, it gets to remain up. If you really like what I'm doing over here, hit me with that super thanks. Consider joining for a membership or picking up a copy of my book where I teach you to do magic responsibly. To the crew, thanks for hanging out. I appreciate every single minute that you are here with me, and I am praying for you every single day. Until next time, I love you. God loves you. You are perfect, whole, and complete just the way that you are. And this has been Pitt's Take. Peace.